All right, yes, your boy fuseodg here, and for me, I definitely believe that education is key. Education is the best weapon that any man can have. So, yeah, and that's why I'm very much involved in a lot of educational initiatives to help teach the young people how to think and how to influence their mind to actually to think critically and to be able to work efficiently, I guess. And we need a whole new generation of new thinkers and move makers and innovators. So to me, education is key. Yeah, I never really have a procedure where I decide to choose the kind of music I'm going to make. It's really with the vibes and the energy. You never know what idea is going to come up. You never know what the producer is going to come up with. So we're usually just in the vibes, and usually it's probably depending on what the kind of day that we've had. So for example, when I was collaborating with Damian Marley, we were just having discussions about how to better the continent. How can our people come back home, and that's how we did Breath Here. It's a whole discussion about the Caribbean and the Africans and African Americans all uniting and actually moving forward as a people, and that's how that song came about with Ed Sheeran. Again, it's the same kind of process. The music that we made was based on the fact that we went out there in the street drinking coconuts from the coconut trucks by the street side, and then we came and we just made a fun song called Boame. Do you get me? So it's all about the energy and the vibes, and it's never really planned about picking a specific sound. But once we're in the sound, once the idea is there, that's when we focus on how the sound should be. And to me, it's very key to make sure that you have the right sounds. You can have, I mean, I always go for magical over technical, but the technical side is very important as well, because it can make the biggest difference picking the right sounds as well. So, but the idea comes from the vibes, and then after that, we think about the technicality of it. What influences my choice of sound engineers? I mean, I have a set amount of sound engineers that I work with. Me myself, I'm a sound engineer. I actually know how to produce music and mix myself. So a lot of people don't know this, but I actually mixed Azonto myself. I mixed Million Pound Girl myself. I mixed Antenna myself. And that was because at the time I felt like I couldn't find the right people to help me mix this sound because it's so new. So I just literally had to figure it out myself, and kind of teach myself how to. And really, with sounds, it's about having the ear, having a good ear, and being used to your speakers. So I had to learn all of that by myself. But it's key, the kind of sound engineer that you work with, because millions of people are gonna hear this music, even though we're making it in a room like this, in East Legon. Millions of people are gonna hear it. So it's key that you have the best sound engineer to work on your sound, to make sure that you have world-class music. But yeah, I mean, I take it very serious, because to me, learning how to even sound engineer myself, that's what did it for me. A lot of the songs that you're hearing, I mixed them myself. Mixing and mastering is something that you shouldn't take very lightly. And any up and coming artist, on the come up, make sure you invest in a good mix engineer and a good master engineer. And they're two completely different things. Some people are capable of doing both, and some people stick to one or the other. And they're both just as important as each other. So to me, after you do a song, cleaning up the song is so important. If there's any breaths that you feel like shouldn't be in there, if there's any clips, if anything is peaking or whatever, all of these things are important to make sure that you have a clean sound. And if you want to go for a raw sound, again, that's in the mixing as well. And then mastering, to me, you have to meet the industry standard level of how the music should bang. Do you get me? So to me, the mastering is very important, and I like my music to just bang. When you hear Antenna and it drops, like, like, wow, like, who mastered this? Like, who mixed this kind of vibe? And I always want my music to feel like that. And even I got a song called Island, and I took the mix and the mastering of that so important. I actually worked with an engineer called Luca, and Luca is like one of the best sound engineers in the world. And to me, it was worth investing in that sound engineer. He's based in Vegas. When he mixed that song Island, you can just hear it. When the song drops, you can hear how clean the sound is, and you can still feel the bounce. You can still feel how hard it is. You can feel the higher end, and you can feel the lower end. Like, he really killed it. So to me, and I invested a lot, in working with him. So that's how important it is to me, that I like to even connect with different sound engineers from across the world to make sure that I have that world-class sound. Yeah, Possigee is someone who I feel like he's one of the best sound engineers in Ghana because he has experience. You know, his ear, you can't beat his ears. Like I said, having that ear is so important, and he's one of the people that's got one of the best ears in Ghana. And I feel like it's hard to teach, you know, how to get an ear like Possigee's ear, but I'm sure he's gonna do his best with his mix classes to make sure that he helps, you know, every aspiring engineer to become like him. But yeah, he's someone that, you know, I've worked with on many songs with, and he's killed it for me, you know, many a times. I always go to him, you know, whenever I need help in mixing something, whenever I'm confused about, you know, how to set up things. You know, he's always there on hand to help out. And to me, you know, I think it's very important that as Africans, we learn how to package our knowledge, because, you know, our elders, you know, they say when an elderly person dies in Africa, you know, a library dies. You get it? So we need to learn how to package our knowledge. And to me, Possigee's mix class is a great way to package the knowledge that he has. You know, whilst he's alive and kicking and being a legend that he is, it's very important that he packages it so he teaches us. So I'm definitely going to be there to learn, because I know that this guy got some knowledge and he's got some bangers that he's going to break it down and let us understand how he got to that stage. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, it's very important that we package our knowledge and you know, share it and educate the up and comers and educate anybody who wants to learn, so we can continue to build an industry with world-class music. I mean, we're now in a digital world now, so it's very important that, again, we educate ourselves on streaming services and see how you can get yourself on different playlists from across the world. The digital world has now made it a global market, you know, rather than before where it was country by country. We're now a global village. You know, you can go on Spotify and end up on the same playlist as Beyonce, or end up on the same playlist as Major Lazer. You know, all of these are a lot more possible than before, and then you get access to their audience as well. So definitely the digital world has made things, it's brought new opportunities to us, and we need to make sure that we educate ourselves on it. Yeah, I love working with Possigee. I met Possigee in Teva at his studio. You know, it's such a long time ago. I'm even trying to remember the exact moment when I met him, but I think he was actually doing something for Stage A. I think that's when I met Possigee in Tema, and he was in a studio production, in a studio session, and yeah, Kilby introduced me to Possigee, and I was just amazed by his skills, you know. And it wasn't just that, you know, as well as him being good at what he did. What I was more impressed about was the fact that he was very community invested. You know, he put a lot of time in his community, and you know, he had a charity project that he invited me to come to. And when I came, I was very touched to see what he was doing for the community, making sure that the kids, you know, were being fed, and making sure that the kids were being constructive in his initiative. So to me, I always saw him as someone who was, you know, very much passionate about making music, but also has a greater purpose of helping his community. So to me, I've always been in love with Possigee and everything that he does. And yeah, I'm just glad that he's now able to share his skills with you guys. You know, you guys are going to be the lucky ones to get to open the mind of Possigee and actually get educated the right way. But yeah, man, Possigee is my guy, man. I've always been, you know, been a fan of Possigee from the first time I met him.